everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Look Back. This is a series of videos I do on a weekly basis where I take a look at reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, and tell you what I think about those games now, if I think about them at all. So let's jump back to reviews I did a year ago this week. First of all, we have Castle Party. This is from Devere. It's a placing monsters out based, in some party. It's okay at best. I found it the way the monsters came out not very interesting, unfortunately. 5 out of 10. The Butterfly Garden. This is from Dr. Finn. I like half of his games. This is not in that half. This is another 5 out of 10. It is a kind of play cards to collect butterflies, to complete tasks, and just felt so random and not interesting. Exploding Minions. This is based on the very popular Exploding Kittens type game. I think the Exploding Minions theme is a little bit more fun. I like the minions, and the minions exploding is not the same as killing kittens. The game's fine. It's kind of like an Uno type game. You're just trying to force someone else to have their stuff explode, and there's cards to do that. I didn't dislike it as much as I thought I did. 6 out of 10. Happy City. This is almost like a little tableau builder, very, very, very light, from Game Right Games, who incidentally I'm doing my favorite Game Right games this week. But I like this one. It's a 7 out of 10. Shelfie Stacker. This is a really kind of in-joke theme, and then you're stacking your shelves with games. So it's going to appeal to the collector of games thematic-wise. And this is the kind of game where you play a character, you reveal that character, and then you're going to be drafting these dice and then putting them on your shelves to stack the shelves, and there's special abilities and things. It works well. 7 out of 10. Almaty. This one was a surprise to me when I played it because this box looks boring. The game looks boring, but it's a tile drafting game. You'll be taking tiles from the middle, placing them you're building this kind of setup in front of you, but when you connect certain tiles together, it gives you bonuses which let you do more things, which might give you more bonuses, and I love that combo. 8 out of 10. And then a year ago, I took a look at The Crew, Mission Deep Sea. This is a sequel to The Crew, and The Crew, I gave a 10 to. This is even better, so this one gets a 30. No, it's still a 10. But man, I like the original Crew, and I think it's easier for people to play and learn, but this is not that much more complicated, and I feel like it offers so much more diversity. An amazing cooperative trick-taking game. I love it. 5 years ago, I took a look at Crazy Words. That's crazy with a K? Anyway, it's with letters, mixed up words, not very good. 5 out of 10. Hafid's Grand Bazaar. So this is from rather dashing, and it's a game where you trade stuff. It's fine, but it's kind of not kept its luster up, so I'm dropping it from a 7 to a 6. Now, a bunch of 7s. Here we go. King's Court. This is an old game that I re-reviewed 5 years ago. I still play this game with my kids today. It's like Super Checkers. It's so simple. The pieces look delicious. I mean, you want to talk about pieces that look like butterscotch? King's Court is right there. But it's just Super Checkers, and it's really fun. Ex Libris, this one here. I thought about lowering this one because I haven't played it in a while. I'm still considering this one. This is the first game that Renegade did about a mystical library, and it's actually very fun. You're trying to put books in order, and they did a great job on the thematic nature of the game, but there's a lot of tiles, worker placement, and the text in them is not easy to read. It would probably be an 8 otherwise. Saikatsu, this is an abstract game that's best with 3. In fact, it only plays 2 to 3. As you're placing out these bird tokens on a board. Very abstract, but fun game. Rising 5, Ruins of Astros. Only 5 years ago. It feels like I played that one a long time ago. This is like a cooperative mastermind game. The other guys liked it more than me, but I still enjoyed it enough to give it a 7. Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. I know, I only gave it a 7. I just don't always have the time for an 8-hour game. It's still good. It feels much more like Twilight Imperium 3.5. The changes were not as drastic as 3 was from 2. But it works. They made technology easier to do, and all the good stuff they kept. And anything they didn't keep, they added in the first expansion. Queen Domino. I did not like King Domino like most people. I thought it was just too simple. Queen Domino adds just a little bit of complexity to this domino game, and therefore I like it. In fact, the differences are minor, but they're minor enough for me to give this one a 7. And Metro. I didn't like the big 20th anniversary box version of Metro, but base Metro, where you're just connecting trains across the board in spaghetti-like fashion, I think that's very fun and amusing. Photosynthesis. This one I gave a 9, and now it's a 7. This is the biggest drop. I loved Photosynthesis. I think I've had so much fun with it. But as the years went by, and I've played this one several times since I initially reviewed it, and I played it a lot then, some players can ruin this experience, and I'm starting to see that the game, it just sometimes it's too mean. And I still like it. I'm still giving it a 7, but that's a pretty decent drop, more than normally. Whitehall Mystery is a game about, it's like catching Mr. Jack. It's Letters from Whitechapel is a big game. This is a smaller, faster catch Mr. X type games. 8 out of 10. And then Rhino Heroes Super Battle. This one I really enjoy. 8.5. It takes Rhino Hero, which is just basically stacking cards, and now it's a little bit more of a competitive game in this, and your building has a little bit more of a shape to it. It's really fun. 10 years ago, I played Space Checkers. Not good. 4 out of 10. Then Distraction. This is where you're like answering questions but also counting out numbers. A little bit of a memory involved. It's okay. 6 out of 10. Snake Oil. This is from the defunct Out of the Box Publishing. Snake Oil was, I think, maybe the last game they published, but this is one of those things where you try to sell something to people. There's a lot of these games out there. This one's fine. 6 out of 10. Spartacus, a game of blood and treachery. I just talked about this one in our top 10 games that are that should have been an email. I would have liked this one more if it had been shorter, for sure. So just a little too long. It's random, which I could live with if it was shorter. So 6 out of 10. High Noon Saloon. This is from Slugfest. This is not what they're known for, but this is just a little shootout with cowboys. Components aren't fantastic, but it's not bad. 6.5. Bonanza didn't come out 10 years ago, but I re-reviewed it, and this is another one that was on my top 10 games that are too long, and this is another one that would be better if it was just a little bit shorter. 6.5. This card game where you can't change the order about planting beans. Flowerfall. I gave this one a 7.5. I'm still amused by this game because you're essentially dropping flowers cards onto a table. Now, since Flowerfall has come out, there's been about like 10 games that do this, but this was the first one I had seen, and in the year 2002, I was very enamored with dexterity type games that also seem to have strategy. Flowerfall, you're trying to form, groups of flowers on the table. I like it. In fact, I organized a game of this where we dropped the cards off of over a second floor down to a first floor at Board Game Geek one year. That was fun. Also, no one scored almost any points. 7.5 for Flowerfall. Dungeon Fighter. I just got the updated anniversary edition of this. Very much looking forward to trying that out. There's another dexterity dungeon crawl where you are like bouncing dice onto a target, and that's how much damage you do to the bad guys. Silly fun. I like it a lot. 8 out of 10. City of Iron, one of the first games I played from Ryan Lockett and Red Raven Games. A deck builder, but you get to pick the order the cards go in when you discard them. Solid. The second edition is better than the first, but I still like it. 8 out of 10. And Mice and Mystics. Amazing to me that this game came out 10 years ago. The game that gave Plaid Hat the money to do other things. Really popular game. I like it. 8 out of 10. And those are the games that I reviewed 1, 5, and 10 years ago. I might also mention that 20 years ago I did my very, very, very first review. So go hunt that one down. But I didn't really start reviewing until October 2002. I did one in August. So yay, we've been around for 20 years, so that's exciting. Hopefully we'll be around for 20 more. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Look Back on the Dice Tower.